Hello everyone, welcome back to Lucky Loads 15, and in this video I'll be giving you my Lucky 15 predictions for tomorrow's horse race in action, as usual here on the channel, where we're going to be focusing at 4 races tomorrow from the Curragh over in Ireland, with the feature race being there, the 2,000 guineas. Before we get stuck into that, I just want to apologise for not giving you any 2,000 and 1,000 guineas previews for the Irish guineas. That's because I've been really busy the last couple of days. Been to Goodwood where I met some of my followers. Also as well, I've been busy doing university work, so I haven't had time really to do too much, but hopefully I can point you in the direction of some winners tomorrow. Also as well, check out my work on the Panthers page. You can just type them in on YouTube and you'll find them. That's where I'm going to be giving 6 tips for them tomorrow, where I'll be giving some of my strongest fancies from an each way perspective or a win outright bet, and all the action there will be focusing on the UK racing. So if you want some of my tips and selections for some UK racing tomorrow, go and check it out over there if you haven't done so already. But without further ado, we'll get stuck in straight into the action tomorrow at the Curragh. And we're going in the 3 o'clock for our first selection here with a horse called Fairyland. Round about 10-3 bookmakers at the moment. Trained by Aidan O'Brien and Jamie Heffernan, booked for the ride. This horse won really impressively on its debut at Naas over 6 furlongs. And I actually backed it that day and I was really impressed by it. And I was always interested to see where it was going to go next. It goes here. And even though Ryan Moore does ride Van Beethoven tomorrow, which does appear to be the first choice of the stable on paper, that doesn't always necessarily mean that it's going to win. Often, a lot of times when Ryan Moore does select a horse, it can often get overturned. And I thought maybe he may have made the wrong decision tomorrow. And I thought at the prices, Fairyland was the one you had to be with. We then go to the next selection, which is in the 3:35, a very interesting race here for the sprinters. Going with a horse here called Tasleet in the Godolphin Blue, trained by William Haggis, and Jim Crowley's booked for the ride tomorrow. He's been riding in really good form of late, so has William Haggis, to be fair. His stable have been in good form. This horse finished second last time we saw it on Champions Day at Ascot, behind a horse called Labrisa Breeze. Now, I thought this horse really had a really good chance tomorrow because the form of that race has worked out really well. You've had the Tin Man, Harry Angel and Brando already win this season so far, and I thought Tasleet could confirm the form with Brando of that Ascot Champions race by beating him tomorrow, and I thought he was the one he had to be with. And yeah, there were a few others that could maybe spring a surprise, but I thought Tasleet was the one you had to be with, and I thought was open to some more improvement. We then go for my big selection tomorrow, the 4:10, the 2,000 Irish guineas. And you know what, I'm actually not going to be going with an Aidan O'Brien horse here, purely because I think there's 2 candidates that are at the top of the betting I don't think are good enough. I don't think US Navy Flag quite gets a mile, and I don't think as well Gustav Klimt gets a mile as well. I think they're more sprinters, more 7 furlong horses. I don't think they quite see the trip out. And one that I thought was interesting tomorrow was a horse called Zibha in the colours of Al Shabab Racing, trained by Fozzie Stack and Chris Hayes, booked for the ride tomorrow. Both are in good form, stable and jockey. Now this horse was really impressive last time out, winning a Group 3, beating a horse of Jessica Harrington's called Pinchak, and Pinchak went and ran a good race last time out at Leopardstown, so the form of that race has worked out fairly well. And I thought around about 8-1 bookmakers at the moment, he could be a good each way bet. He's been really well backed in the last 24 hours or so, 16-1, now into about 8-1 best odds anywhere. And I thought maybe this horse, Zibha, could be going places and could be the one that could spring a surprise in the feature race tomorrow. We then go to the next selection, which is in the 5:20 to finish this vlog, with a horse called Wisdom Mind, trained by Aidan O'Brien's son, Joseph O'Brien, and his brother, Donsha O'Brien, is booked for the ride tomorrow. Thought this horse was really interesting, stepping into handicap company, around about 5-1 bookmakers at the moment. Won at the Curragh last time out in a maiden on heavy ground, but I don't think that's a concern tomorrow. The ground is obviously going to be more good, and I thought really was a very progressive type. Used to be in France, but I thought was a really interesting recruit, and I thought this one could maybe be going places as well. And I thought 5-1 tomorrow, he could be a good bet to maybe have in a multi-bet, maybe each way, or just if you wanted to do them as a single, but it's entirely up to you. But they're the selections for tomorrow at the Curragh. Let us know who you think will win the feature race tomorrow, which will be the 2,000 Irish guineas. Do you think Aidan O'Brien really does have the horses to win the race? I personally don't think he does, but he's got a fantastic record in the race, winning I think 7 of the last 10 renewals. But I think he might not have the best horse in the race tomorrow. For Elikam might not just be good enough, but that could be famous last words. Anyway, they're my thoughts tomorrow at the Curragh. Let us know. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. You can also follow me on Twitter as well at LuckyLoaders15. That's all I've got to say. Please gamble responsibly, and we'll be seeing you soon.